Hello, fourth grade friends. I want to invite you to join me for a read aloud of a book that I found called The Strangers, written by Margaret Peterson Haddix. It is a mystery written for children who are between 8 and 12 years old, but I have to tell you, even as a grown-up, I was very surprised by some of the things that happened, and I just wanted to keep reading. It is about 3 children, Finn, Emma, and Chess, who have a very normal life until one day they see a news report of 3 kidnapped children who look very similar to them, have very similar names to them, and the same birthdays as them. And their mom starts acting very strange, and all of a sudden she needs to go away on a business trip and won't answer any questions or talk about anything that is happening in the news. So this sounds like something that you would be interested in listening to. Feel free to just join and listen and enjoy the story. Right now I have the first 4 chapters in this video, and I will continue adding a couple chapters at a time, either weekly or a couple times a week, because there's 60 chapters. So I hope you enjoy. Bye-bye. Chapter 1, Finn. The 3 Greystone kids always raced each other home when they got off the school bus, and Finn always won. It wasn't because he was the fastest. Even he knew that his older brother and sister, Chess and Emma, let him win so he could make a grand entrance. Today he burst into the house calling out, "Mom, we're home. It's time to come and adore us." Adore had been on his 2nd grade spelling list 2 weeks ago, and it had been a great discovery for him. So that was what it was called, the way he had felt his entire life. Emma, who was in 4th grade, dropped her backpack on the rug beside him and kicked off her red sneakers. They flipped up and landed on top of the backpack. Someday, Finn vowed, he would get Emma to teach him that trick. 23, Emma said. There was no telling what she might have been counting. Finn hoped it was a prediction of how many chocolate chips would be in every cookie Mom was probably baking for them right now for their after-school snack. Finn sniffed. The house did not smell like cookies. Oh well, Mom worked from home, designing websites, and sometimes she lost track of time. If today was more of a goldfish crackers and apple slices kind of day, that was okay with Finn. He liked those too. "Mom," he called again, "your afternoon break entertainment has arrived." "She's in the kitchen," Chess said, hanging his own backpack on the hook where it belonged. "Can't you hear?" That would mean Finn had to listen for once instead of talking, Emma said, rubbing Finn's head fondly and making his messy brown hair even messier. Finn knew she didn't mean it as an insult. He was pretty sure Emma liked talking just as much as he did. Chess was the one everyone called the quiet Greystone. He was in 6th grade and had grown 4 inches in the past year. Now Finn had to tilt his head way back to see his brother's face. He also cupped his hand over his ear and pretended to be listening really, really hard. There was a low mumble coming from the kitchen. Maybe a man's voice? "Is Mom watching TV?" Chess asked. She never does that during the day. The kids all knew their mother's routine. She never listened to anything but classical music while she worked, because she said the songs with words were too distracting. And when she really didn't want to be disturbed, she worked in a windowless room in the basement. The computer down there didn't even connect to the internet. The 3 Greystone kids called that the boring room. Now Finn laughed at his older brother. "Are you going to stand around just asking stupid questions when you could get your answer just by walking into the kitchen?" Finn asked. "Let's go eat." He dashed towards the kitchen, dodging both Emma's backpack and the family cat, Rocket, lying in the middle of the floor. He yelled, "Mom, can I cut up apples? It's my turn, isn't it?" Mom was standing at the kitchen counter with her back to Finn, but she didn't turn around. She had both hands clenched onto the edge of the counter as if she needed to hold on. Her cell phone lay face down on the floor by her feet. Her laptop sat on the counter in front of her, but it was tilted up so Finn couldn't see what was on the screen. "Mom?" Finn tried again. She still didn't turn around. It was like she didn't even hear him, like she was in a soundproof bubble. This was not like Mom. She had never acted like this before. Then she began to moan, "No, no, 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 no." Chapter 2, Emma. Emma had had a substitute teacher that day. The sub had dressed in all gray and had gray hair and a gray face and even a gray voice, somehow. Emma decided that was possible. And the sub made the entire day so dreary and dull that Emma had started looking for and counting weird things about the day just to keep herself awake. The thing was, if you started looking for weirdness, suddenly everything seemed that way. Wasn't it weird that the pattern of coats hanging up on the classroom hooks went blue, green, red, blue, green, red, twice in a row? Wasn't it weird that the sub could have a gray voice? Or was that just normal for her? By the time Emma got off the school bus and began racing toward the house, she'd counted 21 things she considered indisputably weird. To her way of thinking, that actually made the day pretty interesting, and she was excited to tell Mom about the new trick she'd discovered for surviving school. Then she noticed that the porch light was still on, even though Mom usually turned it off when Emma and her brothers left for school. And then, stepping into the house, Emma noticed that the living room curtains were still drawn tight across the windows. And so were the blinds on the bay window at the back of the house. This turned the living room's cheery yellow walls dim and shadowy. It made the whole house feel like a cave or a hideout. 23 weird things in one day. What if that was a normal amount and Emma had just never noticed before? She'd have to count again some other day, or really, lots of other days to know for sure. Finn and Chess started yammering on about Mom and the kitchen and TV. Emma joined in and then rubbed Finn's head because it felt good to do something normal again. Mussing Finn's hair was like petting a dog. You had to do it. Finn had thick, unruly hair with odd cowlicks that sprang up no matter how much Mom smoothed them down. Finn being Finn, he claimed this meant his hair had superpowers. And now Finn was racing off to the kitchen, shouting about apples. Emma looked up at Chess, and they both shrugged and grinned and followed Finn. But when they got to the kitchen, Mom wasn't hugging Finn and reaching out to hug Emma and Chess too. Finn stood in the middle of the kitchen staring at Mom. Mom stood at the counter with her back to the kids, all her attention focused on her laptop. And the voice coming out of the laptop was saying, "The kidnapped children are in 2nd and 4th and 6th grade." Chapter 3, Chess. "Mom?" Chess said quietly. His mother's shoulders shook. And then, as if she was fighting for control, her whole body went still. Just like before, Chess thought. Of the 3 Greystone kids, only Chess remembered the awful day their father died. Chess had been 4, Emma 2, and Finn only a baby. But even Chess's memories of that day were more like puzzle pieces he kept in a box in his mind, rather than one continuous video. Chess remembered the 2 sad-faced police officers at the door. He remembered the red Matchbox car he'd been holding in his hand when the door opened. He remembered the way Mom's shoulders shook before her back went ramrod straight and she turned around to face Chess and Emma and Finn. Now, Mom was reaching for the top part of her laptop as if she planned to shut it and hide whatever it said. Something made Chess stride quickly across the kitchen and grab her hand to stop her. "Someone was kidnapped," he said. He caught a glimpse of the few words at the bottom of the computer screen. 3 kids in Arizona. Was it anyone you know?" "No," Mom whispered. Her dark eyes were wide and dazed. The color had drained from her face. Shock, Chess thought. The school nurse had come in and taught a first aid unit to the 6th graders earlier that year, and Chess was proud of himself for remembering the symptoms. It was just a shame he couldn't remember any treatment. Maybe he was feeling a little shocked himself. It was scary that anyone would kidnap anyone. But Arizona was 1,000 miles away, and it wasn't like there would be some crime ring going around kidnapping kids from any family who had a 2nd grader, a 4th grader, and a 6th grader. "Mom, maybe you should sit down," Emma said. Maybe that was one of the treatments for shock. Chess shot his sister a grateful look and took his mother's arm, ready to help ease her toward the kitchen table. Rocky, Emma, and Finn Gustano were last seen leaving their school, Los Perales Elementary in Mesa. The voice coming out of the laptop speaker said. Finn started cracking up. "Isn't that funny?" he cried. "2 of those kids have the same first names as me and Emma. That's the 3rd Finn I've ever known. Well, not that I actually know this one, but..." He slugged Chess in the arm. "Don't you feel bad that you don't have the same name as some kid who's famous now? And I bet when they find these kids, they'll get all the ice cream they want and all the toys they want, and their parents probably won't make them do homework ever again." But what if nobody ever finds these kids? Chess thought. He wasn't about to say that to Finn. "Yeah, I've never met another kid named Rochester." Chess forced himself to fake a smile at Finn, or with the nickname Chess. "Oh well. Maybe you should sue Mom for giving you such a different name," Finn suggested. "Or maybe I should sue for getting such a boring, ordinary name," Emma countered. "Did you know that there are 3 other Emmas in 4th grade and 8 others in the rest of the school?" But Chess tuned out his brother and sister because Mom lifted one hand and pointed toward the laptop screen. The way she held her hand was like a nightmare, like a Halloween ghost, like someone under a witch's spell in a fairy tale. It was like she could only point, not speak. "We're repeating the information we have about the Gustano children," the voice coming from the laptop said. A photo of a friendly-looking, dark-haired boy appeared on screen. The oldest of the 3 kidnapped siblings, Rochester Charles Gustano, who goes by Rocky, just turned 12 last Tuesday. Chess's hearing blanked out temporarily. His middle name was Charles, too, and his 12th birthday had been last Tuesday. How could there be another Rochester Charles born the same exact day as him? And how could that other kid have been kidnapped? Chapter 4. Finn. Everybody was acting too serious. They'd all stopped talking. Even Emma. She'd taken the last 2 steps to join Mom and Chess at the counter to stare silently at the laptop screen. "Hello," Finn said. "It's snack time, remember?" Nobody answered. "Remember how you're always telling me I have to quit right away when I'm playing computer games and you think it's time for me to do something else?" Finn tried again. He walked over and reached his hand for the power button on the laptop. He wasn't really planning to switch it off. He'd heard too many lectures from Mom about not messing with her work. He just wanted to tease Mom a little until she acted normal again. Emma surprised him by grabbing his hand. At first, it seemed like she was just trying to stop him from doing something dumb. Then it started feeling like she needed to hold his hand. Finn stood on tiptoes and peered at the screen. He saw 3 pictures in a row, each with names and ages beneath. The kids in the pictures all had brown hair, just like Finn and Chess and Emma did. And they stared out at Finn with stiff school picture day smiles on their faces, as if they'd gotten the same warning Finn always got. Remember, this is your official photo for the entire year, so no goofing off. The youngest boy, the one Finn was already thinking of as Other Finn, was perfectly snaggletooth, with one adult front tooth partly grown in and one front tooth missing entirely. Finn felt a little jealous. He'd lost both his front teeth 2 weeks after picture day last fall, and for some reason, Mom wouldn't agree to let him have his picture retaken just because of that. "But Mom, this is what I look like in 2nd grade," he'd argued, sticking his tongue into the hole where his teeth used to be just for the sheer joy of it. "Don't you want to remember me this way forever?" "Don't worry," Mom had said, laughing and pretending to try to catch his tongue before he yanked it back. "I'm not going to forget, regardless." Finn dropped his gaze to see if Other Finn was just a smidge older, and if that was the reason he'd been lucky enough to lose both his front teeth right before school picture day. "Finn Michael Gastano," it said below the picture, born 3/4/11. "He has the same middle name as me?" Finn said, stunned. "And wait, does 3/4 mean March 4th? "He has the same name as you," Chess said, sounding dazed, "and the same birthday." "And that Emma is Emma Grace, just like me," Emma added. She kept her gaze aimed at the screen, as if she was too surprised to look away. "And her birthday is April 14th, too." "That's crazy," Finn said. "Weird, weird, weird. Did they just steal our names and birthdays? Or—" "I know." He yanked his hand away from Emma, put his fists on his hips, and tried to look stern. "Mom, did you let that other family clone us?" He wanted everybody to laugh. He needed everybody to laugh. And then Mom would shut the laptop and forget those other kids. She would bring out snacks and ask Finn and Emma and Chess about school, just like usual. But Mom did none of those things. Even when Finn went over and snuggled against her, she didn't move. She just kept staring at the kids who'd been kidnapped.